Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of. Let me say that again. Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of again. Thank you, man. Any more questions? You good?
Hey, welcome to Hooper's Radar. As you guys just saw in the video, James Harden recently called Daryl Morey a liar and basically said that he isn't going to associate himself with anything that has to do with him or the 76ers going forward. Let's talk about it. This James Harden situation has escalated so much in the span of one day. The 76ers recently ended trade talks for Harden and decided they planned on bringing him back, but then we all woke up yesterday to James Harden absolutely bashing Daryl Morey at an Addidas event in China. What makes this so hilarious is what does speaking on the situation have anything to do with the Addidas event he was at? It just felt so unprecedented and unexpected for James Harden to speak on his situation so openly and direct. The dude came out in China out of nowhere to call Daryl Morey a liar and basically said he wants nothing to do with him or the 76ers. The funny part was that after he said this, the crowd started cheering him on. But as much as we might all find the situation very entertaining and funny, this is terrible for the 76ers and Daryl Morey. James Harden took a pay cut for them, was expecting to be paid this offseason but didn't get that, so he opted into his player option and requested a trade that was not honored. And now the Sixers and Morey are dealing with a disgruntled James Harden that is so desperate to leave that he's willing to come out here in public and just absolutely bash the 76ers GM and state his desire to not want to play with them. And Daryl Morey can try waiting the situation out and see if Harden will attempt to play for them, but we all know that with every team Harden has requested a trade from, he finds a way to leverage himself to being traded eventually. Harden is historically terrible in his last couple games before being traded in every team he's played for. I'm betting he will most likely do that for the Sixers if he has no choices left. This situation can only end bad for the 76ers because they'll either have a fat version of James Harden that is 25% of himself or lose Harden for no equal return. The 76ers are really left with no choice here, and they should get rid of Harden as soon as possible before he starts dragging this franchise down with him and makes things even worse than they already are. I've got to feel bad for Joel Embiid. This guy has been enduring the most painful process for the last several years and has had to deal with Ben Simmons, who didn't want to play, and now Harden, who doesn't even want to be in Philly anymore. The dude just has terrible luck with co-stars and attracts some of these most dramatic players ever. The 76ers are definitely in shambles though. They plan on competing for a championship somehow but can't even keep this James Harden situation under control. I'd be honestly surprised if Harden comes out and plays well for the 76ers at the start of the season. I'm not hopeful that it's going to happen, but just maybe there's a chance. I think if he plays, he's going to play terrible intentionally, whether it's with a fat suit or not, to leverage himself out of Philly. I think the situation only really has one result, and that's Harden using any of his methods to force himself out of Philly. It'll either be this Daryl Morey call out or something that he does as the season gets closer, or even something he does when the season starts that will ultimately lead to him being traded. I don't think the 76ers are ready to tolerate all the methods James Harden is about to bring in order to get himself traded. The guy is an expert at getting what he wants, and just like every team he's been with, this will end in his favor. There's not much that can stop a guy who loves clubs and hanging out with Lil Baby. James Harden must have just gotten tired of the clubs in Philly. But all jokes aside, this is a tricky situation for the 76ers that could ultimately leave a bad mark on their franchise. Hopefully they find a way to get this situation under control as soon as possible. Joel Embiid might not be a Sixer for much longer if things like this keep happening, but that's my breakdown on this whole James Harden situation that finds a way to get worse every day. Thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe to stay on the radar for all things basketball.